Hey, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. Chris back with another video for you guys. Today I'm on the 2019 Hyundai Sonata 2.4 liter GDI. All right, we're going to change the oil on this guy. Okay, you're going to need a 10 millimeter. Not quite sure what the oil pan wrench is as far as the socket. It's either going to be a 17 to a 13 depending on what they decided to go with this year because they're always changing the bolt sizes. Anyway, we up top. Let's go up under so we can get this plate off. It's going to have probably about 10 millimeters to take off, so let's get this tripod set and we can get it in. And it is cold out here, so I'm out here looking like a mummy. We got 24 degrees in the garage trying to heat it up, so that's what it do. Get this tripod good. All right, so let's go on under the vehicle, see what we need, and get started. All right, so front, come straight down, come up under. All right, so you got probably about, let's see, 7 of these. So we're going over here to this plate here. Move our oil pan off the way for a minute. Let's get started on these 17 millimeters. Right, tie your lefty loosey. Always check your wrench. All you have to break them free first. That's one. Drop them down. Let's come back to the back. And it's pretty long down here, so yeah. The ratchet's even cold. All right, knocked over the camera. My bad. Back at it. All right. And I didn't want to jack it up super high just because it's cold and I didn't feel like it. All right. And some cars don't have this. You can put the plate back if you want. I recommend it because of the salt and everything get up under here. Helps prevent rust. These plates, some people take them out and leave them out, but I recommend you keep it in. But cool little access port, just another little step to change the oil, but it does protect stuff, so it's all good. All right, so we got 90% of those out, 80%, got 2 more to go. Bought this Milwaukee speed ratchet a while ago. It's just now starting to speed up because it's so cold. But it does make life easier. All right, got our skid plate down. All right, so after you do that, look up here, there's your oil pan here. And let's tilt this camera a little bit. Let's see if I can work it, because boy, it's cold today. And there's your oil filter right there, okay? So let's get some light on that oil filter. Let's see if we can unscrew it by hand. It should be only hand tight. And if not, we're gonna have to get an oil wrench. So let's get our oil wrench. Good, good. Phones ring, all that good stuff. We out here getting it in. Trying to find this oil wrench. There we go. All right, so we're back up under here, and we're gonna check everything when we get back out. Grab your wrench, grab him, and you wanted to get the start to spin. Right, tie, lefty, loosey. All right, so now that we broke it free, you don't want to drain this before you check your drain plug over here. You want it to definitely come free, otherwise you'll be filling the car up without changing your oil. Well, you'll be filling it up without changing your filter. Sorry, I got a mask on, so I sound the way I do today. But let's check and see. I grabbed several sockets, and I think it's the 17. And yes, it is. So we're gonna go 17 millimeter, right, tight, lefty, loosey, and hopefully I can get it free with my Milwaukee. If not, I will be switching over ratchets to a stiffer ratchet. But yep, a 3/8 should get you. Let me make sure I quit hitting my head on stuff. There we go. So let's break this oil pan free. 17 millimeter, okay. And hopefully it's not too tight. And make sure my wrench was set the right way. quit beating up the phone. All right, so you seen where I was at, so hopefully I got that straight. There we go. All right, we got it to break free. We want to get it loose enough. Here we go. All right, so let's come back over here to the filter. Actually, we can start draining the oil now, so let's do that. Watch our skid plate, and it will count for all of these bolts there in a little bit. Let's just scoot them to the side. All right, and just make sure you got 7 when you go back in. All right. Got our oil pan there, and start spinning it. Let's make sure we good. And it's doing what it's doing now. You take your socket off and use that to help spin it off if it's loose enough. And this one seems to be loose enough. And just work it. Take your time, make sure you do it right, because you're still gonna change the oil. All right, now we're pretty loose. I'm trying not to get no oil on my hand. There we go. And I'm glad we're doing this oil change, because it's barely got any oil in it. That's probably about a quart, maybe a half a quart, depending on how long we get to drizzle for. If I can quit tearing up the tripod. All right, so we're gonna let that drain, set a nice drizzle. So let's go over here to the oil filter. Up here, start spinning that free. And we're gonna do them both at the same time. Make sure you're set so you don't spill it everywhere. Got that draining. Oil filter here. Got that draining right now. Hopefully you can see the oil filter. Limited white space right now. All right, so we got that draining. Set back up. Let's go ahead and get this on out. And you want to match up everything after you're done. Right. That rolled inside of the pan up in there. Well, never happened before, but let's get it. There we go. All right, let me clean my hands.
You are hilarious.
Yeah. Yep, right on, brother.
You are hilarious.
Dropping my hand warmers and stuff. So, all right, so we got everything. We're gonna let that drain for a couple minutes. All right, let's go ahead and come out. Let's come up top. All right, set up on the other tripod. But yeah, main thing is taking your time. And I'll show you the thermostat right now in the garage. We got 29 degrees good. That's all we got. All right. All right, so we back. We up top. This is the parts number for your oil filter. This one here, S2808 for the specific make and model. All right, over here you got your oil filters. Always sit them together, match them up. Don't make the mistake of leaving this plastic on, because it will block the system and your engine will lock up and seize. So always make sure you remove the plastic or a cap or anything that's covering these holes or this area here. Some of them come with a little bit of lubricant on them, like I can see this one, but you want to take some from your old filter like this, just wipe around there just to make sure it's nice and lubed. Okay, because it makes it easier to come out when you're changing your next oil change. But if you don't do that and it's dry, it'll seize up a little bit sometimes, and it makes it harder to come off the engine. Now, sometimes your oil will get low when you're changing your fluid. I mean, before you change your next oil change, because as the car gets older, it does burn a little bit of oil. So you at least want to check it at least once a month. You know, once you're getting close to your oil change, just to, it doesn't hurt to pop your hood and dip your stick just to make sure you have fluid in your engine, just to make sure it stays lubricated. All right, so after you do that and you get these guys set, let's drop this in here so we don't make a mess. Clean all this up when we get done. All right, now it's time to put the filter back on. And I think I can do it with one hand now. So we're gonna take this off the tripod. All right, let's go. All right, we're going back in. And one thing is, if you don't have fun while you're doing what you do, or have a little bit of fun, it makes life harder. All right, I know I gotta get this stain out my way real quick. And this might be a little longer than your other videos, but it's cool. I ain't tripping. It's cold and I'm just taking my time. All right, so we got that clean. Let's scoot on back here some more. Got a new filter. Make sure everything's clean. And this is what that looks like, okay? So we're gonna stick this back on up in there. And after you get it on there, you want it to spin freely. If it feel like it's, excuse me, I said I got a mask on, but if it feel like it's binding, then back up and start again, but you want it to do this. You should be able to spin it at least with one finger or something. It should spin real freely, like that. And then once it starts to tighten up, just hand tight. You want to get it tight though, but just hand tighten it because that seal is gonna lock and you want it to come out when it's time for the next one. All right, so we're done here. We're done. We got a little steady drizzle right there. Not too bad. So now it's time to put our plug back in. All right, move everything out the way. Might make a little bit of a mess, but all good. All right, same thing applies. Back it up a little bit if you feel it binding, and then start spinning it. You want to make sure the threads are on there before you start spinning it in, like I'm doing, and then it should start to roll in like that. Okay. All right. And keep going if you can by hand. If not, you're already in there. You can go ahead and start cranking down with your wrench, but if you can, just spin it all the way up by hand. Wipe some of this off. All right. Got that. Get back to my 17 millimeter. And where's my ratchet? Get the ratchet back. Usually don't use this guy, but for this kind of stuff. But we're under here and we had to take the plate down. It makes it easier for me. Get stuff down, get it down faster. All right, set your wrench, right tighty lefty loosey. And I'm not gonna hit the button, I'm just gonna crank it, okay? We already know where we at on the tightness. Let's get that back on there good. So make sure I'm set correct. Yeah, we're going back tight, okay. All right, you want to give it and then just crank it over, just that. Just about like that, just a little bit and crank it. And now that's it. All right, now that we've done with up underneath, just pull everything out the way. We know we're done. We will be coming back down there to put the skid plate back on, but for now we got to put oil in the system, and that's a lot more important than the plastic piece. So sometimes people forget when they're doing their work, but we want to make sure we're good. So back up top. And we're about to find out how many quarts of oil. Usually for a 4-cylinder, it's usually between 4 to 4.5 quarts. Some of them are doing the 3.9 now, but be right back. All right, so we back up top. So you definitely want to get the right oil. This is calling for 5W20. The oil capacity after checking, it says 5.1 quarts. So 5 quarts, you don't have to do the 0.1, buy you a whole nother quart for a 0.1. So yeah, they ain't even close to a whole quart. Yeah, 0.1. They need to quit the BS. Anyway, let's go ahead and start filling this up. We already know we need 5 quarts. Got the castor 5W20 synthetic blend. You can switch over to full synthetic if you like, but here we go. All right, so we know it needs the whole jug. Let's go ahead and crack it open. And I was recently told by another YouTuber, can't remember the guy's name, if you pour these jugs sideways, it comes out a lot smoother. And when you're peeling this off, as far as this here on your around here, definitely take this all the way off, because Lord forbid you drop a piece of this down in there. Not that it's gonna hurt the engine because it's so thin, but you don't want anything in there. Okay, so just bend it out the way and let's proceed. But yeah, I'm definitely make sure you put your skid plate back on. I'm not going to show that in the video. 7-10 millimeters, put your skid plate back on. But yeah, sometimes your engine will burn a little oil before the next oil change, especially if it's an older car. Newer cars usually don't have that problem, but if it's at least has over 50,000 miles, it's going to burn a little bit of oil, and that's common for gasoline engines. So don't have a headache or think your engine is messing up, but it's common, and it goes all the way back to the old school cars back in the 70s, 60s, all that too. So we know this thing needs 5 quarts. Not gonna bore you with filling it the rest of the way up. Definitely check your dipstick 3 times after you fill it up, just to make sure it's at the right capacity. But yeah, this is how you change the oil. 2019 Hyundai Sonata 2.4 liter GDI. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe for those who have liked and subscribed. I appreciate you for doing that. Helps build the YouTube channel. And also remember on these things, rust is the enemy always. And until the next video, love life, have respect, And I'm out.